public hearing. This public hearing is scheduled to consider the proposed 2016 tax budget. As part of the required submittal of the tax budget to the county, a public hearing must be held in order to give the general public an opportunity to comment on the subject. I don't know if there's anybody here that in the public, or there's no public here for question of the tax budget. I know that the budget has been done. The Ways and Means Committee discussed the tax budget on the 13th of July, and here is Ms. Finance Director Halida. We're in a public hearing on the tax budget. Is there anything that you would like to tell us? Any more information that you'd like to give us regarding it? You can do it from there if you like. I don't know if anybody got any questions. Anybody from council got any questions for the finance director regarding the tax budget? So, comment?
Well, if it's no questions, Harlita may want to just kind of explain the process from here and the fact that we need to get the goals in place for council, from council, and how that's going to fit in with everything, or how it would normally fit in with everything at this point.
Basically, the tax budget is our kickoff or our start for our 2016 budget process. This is our first attempt at looking at our 5-year plan, and it's an extraction of just the two funds that are primarily get their revenue from the levying of taxes. So in looking at both the general fund and the fire fund, I know in the past we've not had good news. We are what I would call a sound, healthy state for the general fund. And with the 5.75 mils, we'll kind of eke through this year, but in 2016, the fire levy fund, 2016 to 2019 looks a lot healthier, and it's not as bad a perspective as we have given in the past. As we move through the budget process, our next step would be to come to council, and actually this process typically would have started back in March, but with me being ill at that particular time, it was not brought to council. There is a strategic plan that council had prepared in 2011, 2012. We would like to resurrect that strategic plan and update it. That plan was presented to the Ways and Means Committee on the 13th, and it's in their hands right now for review. They will bring that forward for discussion on the April 27th work session. A lot of what was in that strategic plan was items that were completed, stabilization of the general fund and trying to find a revenue stream for fire levy. So some things have been completed. Some things we need to work on, economic development for one. Some of those we just may need to refresh the year or roll some things further down the road. But what those do for the budget process, in order for us to provide guidance and direction to the departments, what I'd like to do first is find out what council sees as directives or initiatives of what you'd like to see accomplished with the money in the budget. And we pass those to departments. And as you're building your budgets, it is mindful for you to remember what council has given you as directives, as well as what the needs are of your general programs. So that's kind of what the framework is for the strategic plan. Some of you were here when we put that together, some of you weren't. So for those of you that weren't, we'll have to walk you through kind of where some of the initiatives come from, and we may want to revisit or update or add totally new initiatives. So I would leave that all up to council.
Any questions from any members of council regarding the budget? Hearing nothing. Thank you, ma'am, very much.
Okay.
there any questions or comments from the audience? Hearing none,
Uh-oh.
probably the other way. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we thank the Finance Director for her presentation.
Thank you.
And hearing nothing else on this issue, this public hearing is closed. Council meeting will start in approximately 6 minutes. Forest Park City Council meeting number 1255, July 20, 2015. Let us stand for the pledge, please. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Burns. Cottle. Here. Herbie. Holt. Here. Johnson.
Here.
Lives.
Here.
Southall.
Here. Is there a motion to excuse, Mr. Lives?
Yes, I move to excuse council members Herbie and Wendell Holt.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we excuse Councilwoman Herbie and Councilman Burns. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to excuse, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those people are excused. Next item number 2 is the minutes. You have received copies of the minutes. Is there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. Item number 3, presentations. We have 2 presentations, the first of which will be Business of the Month. Mr. Grimm.
Mayor, members of council, thank you very much. Our July Business of the Month is brand new to our business community. Jack's Tavern is quickly, though, becoming a Forest Park favorite, providing a first-class menu and an upscale sports bar environment. Fresh ingredients brought in daily, a menu that features great burgers, and I can attest to that, another taste-tempting fare, and an excellent selection of draft beers and other products makes this the perfect place for your next family dinner, business after-hours event, or the next time to get together with your sports team. Everything is carefully selected, with quality being the focal point, and at Jack's, they're dedicated to giving you the best quality food and beverages with a focus on consistency, simplicity, and superior hospitality. While they may be new to the market, their management staff certainly is not. With a combined 80 years of experience in the restaurant industry, their team has worked with some of Greater Cincinnati's most premier restaurants. Ranging from fast casual to fine dining, their collection of learning opportunities have culminated in Jack's, the best upscale sports bar in Greater Cincinnati. The company is located in what had been an unnamed chicken wing restaurant right up in Parkwood Plaza. I can guarantee that anyone who remembers the old place, and nothing against the previous owners, but they'll find this new restaurant to be a true refreshing change. Top-of-the-line decor, superior service, and great food all combined to create a one-of-a-kind dining experience. So I encourage everyone to stop into this fantastic restaurant soon, catch the game, meet a business associate, take the family out to dinner. Whatever you need to do, Jack's is the perfect choice. And accepting the award tonight is one of the partners involved with this project, Bill Asiri. Bill, if you could come up and join us. And I have to say, again, if you haven't seen it yet, the decor, the environment, it's first class all the way. Bill?
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
This is for City of Forest Park Business of the Month, Jack's Tavern, in recognition of the company's contribution to the growth and development of the City of Forest Park. Again, thank you. Thank you for being a part of Forest Park.
Appreciate it.
Have a word for us, please.
Just wanted to say thank you to the city and Mr. Brim for your kind words. We're really excited to be part of the city. We've invested a bunch of time and money into Forest Park and what we hope to be a growing franchise chain eventually. We're looking to, just hoping that Forest Park, our Jack's Tavern, is the first of many. So we're excited. We're big on community. I'm actually a member of City Council and where I live at, and so I can attest to your guys' work, and we appreciate how hard you guys work. And we know that, for us to be successful, we have to give back to the community. So we're excited to meet everybody in the community and come out and see us and get some good wings and burgers. So thanks for your time.
Thank you again. Our next presentation is a proclamation for National Health Center Week. This week is this is National Health Center Week, August 9th through the 15th. We're doing this at this time because of the upcoming recess, but we want to honor them with a proclamation and proclaiming National Health Week, as I said, August 9th through the 15th. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, item number 4, is comments from the public. This is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcriptions. Comments are limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address the council? If so, please come to the podium and sign in. Let us know who you are and tell us about your concern. Seeing no one approaching, we will move to item number 5, reports of standing committees. First of the reports is Public Improvement and Facilities, Mr. Southall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do not have a report for public facilities and facilities tonight.
Any questions for Mr. Southall? Hearing none, Mr. Southall, I have no items on the agenda for you for the work session on the 27th. Do you have any to add?
Not at this time, sir.
Next committee report is Public Safety Committee, Mr. Lives.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of items. As is usual in the fire department report, they always put something in there, and these reports, by the way, are available to the public. This one was on hotel, motel, fire safety, and it had some safety tips in there that I didn't even think about, and you don't think about when you settle into your hotel room. But they've got things in there like reading the escape plan that's posted in your room. I know that thing on the door does more than tell how much the room costs. It also tells the way out of the building if there is a fire. And there's other things in there that they highlight that are certainly worth bearing in mind when you stay in a hotel or motel. Hopefully it's a safe visit, but you never know. The other item I want to report was from the police department. They're putting on a police clergy academy for, again, clergy people. And they have signed up so far 12 to 16 of Forest Park's clergy. And I think this is important, especially these days with clergy and the involvement of the police department. And it goes through some of the details of what the police face, and it works good with some of the things the clergy, of course, face. So again, I would like to highlight those items. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Lives? Mr. Lives, I have no items on the agenda for you for the work session. Do you have any to add?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next two committee reports, Ways and Means Committee, Councilwoman Herbie, and Community Development Committee, Mr. Burns. Both of those people are absent this evening. Is anyone from those respective committees who would like to make any report for them? Seeing no one, I will tell you that for the work session on the 27th, we have one item on the Ways and Means Strategic Plan for the budget. There are no other items. If there are other items, they would be added later. The next committee report is the Law Committee, Councilwoman Cottle.
I have no report this evening, thank you.
Any questions for Councilwoman Cottle? Councilwoman Cottle, I have no items on the agenda for you for the work session. Do you have any to add?
No, thank you.
Next agenda report is Human Resources Committee, Councilwoman Holt.
I do not have a report tonight, thank you.
Any questions for Councilwoman Holt? Hearing none, Councilwoman Holt, I have no items for you. Do you have any to add?
No, I do not.
Thank you. Councilwoman Holt, would you please give us, at the work session, could you give us information on the number of vacancies on the various commissions and committees, if you would, please?
Yes.
Next committee report, so we will put on the agenda, we'll just list it as commission, committee updates, membership update for you, Councilwoman Holt.
I'm sorry?
I'll list this on the agenda as membership on commissions and committees. Update.
All right.
Next committee report is intergovernmental relations and communications. That's my committee. I have nothing to report under that one. Item number 6 is the mayor's report. I don't have any items to report this evening, but I would be glad to answer any questions if there are any. Seeing none, we go to item 7, the city manager's report. Mr. Hodges.
Thank you. Two things I'll report. First, that the departmental reports have all been completed, included in the council packet, and placed on file with the clerk of council for public inspection. I'll also report that you have an agenda item, ordinance 15, 2015, and there is a memo at your place that was provided to me from the fire chief that kind of clarifies the cover memo where we're updating the code of our comprehensive fee schedule. And in the cover memo, it speaks more to building permits. And this was just to help clarify what most council members already realize, but for the general public, that this really relates to the fire department, the fact that we are going to be, assuming that the ordinances are approved, inspecting daycare facilities at homes, and there's a fee associated with that. So, again, that item is on your agenda, but this kind of brings up to date the cover memo that you might refer to. That would conclude my report, but I would respond to any questions if there are any.
Any questions for the city manager? Hearing none, thank you, Mr. Hodges. Go to item number 8, other reports. The first of these reports would be the law director, Mr. Wyckoff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, you have Ordinance 11 and Ordinance 12, 2015 before you tonight. These are ordinances to provide some criminal penalties for people who are ignoring our building director who's trying to enforce our building code to ensure the safety of our citizens, so that when this is up for vote at the next meeting, I would highly recommend passage. Thank you.
Any questions for the law director? Hearing none, thank you, Mr. Wyckoff. Next report on the others is clerk of council, Mrs. Huffman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would report that ordinance number 08 and 09-2012 and resolution number 29-2012 were posted as required. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for clerk of council? Hearing none, thank you, Mrs. Huffman. Go to item number 9, new business. There a motion, Mr. Lives.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read for the first time by title only ordinances number 10-2015 through 15-2015. These ordinances were posted 6 days prior to a meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second that we suspend the rules requiring reading in full on 2 separate occasions and read for the first time by title only ordinances number 10-2015 through 15-2015 by title only. Is there any discussions? Hearing now, would the clerk call the roll on the motion to suspend the rules?
Otto,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Lives,
Yes.
Southall.
Yes.
Motion to suspend the rule passes 5-0. First item on the new business is item A, ordinance number 10-2015. Would the clerk please read that ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 10-2015, an ordinance determining to reduce and recertify special assessments levied for the purpose of constructing certain improvements and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion, Mr. Lives?
Yes, I move for passage of ordinance number 10-2015.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt ordinance number 10-2015. Is there a discussion, Mr. Lives?
Yes, sir, thank you. This is the annual Cincinnati Mall Special Assessment. The city is required to determine the special assessment that we levied for the Cincinnati Mall property for 2015. The calculations are based on the assessments and the elimination of the tax increment. The assessees are leveled against the property to pay for the remaining outstanding bonds. It's a routine annual procedure, and this legislation has been prepared by our bond counsel, Dinsmore, and is considered an emergency. Thank you.
Any further discussion on ordinance 10-2015? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on ordinance number 10-2015?
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes?
Lives,
Yes.
Southall,
Yes.
Cottle.
Yes.
Ordinance number 10-2015 passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is item B. This is ordinance number 11-2015. Would the clerk please read this ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 11-2015, enacting a revision to Chapter 152, Building Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Forest Park, Ohio, to add supplemental language to Section 152.23, violations and penalties to establish criminal penalties for failure to respond to violation notices and stop work orders, which penalties are in addition to those administrative and civil remedies available in the code.
So read the entire thing.
Yeah. This ordinance, 11-2015 is read by title only. It will be on the agenda for vote at the next council meeting on August 3rd. Next item on the agenda is item C, ordinance number 12-2015. Would the clerk please read that ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 12-2015, enacting a revision to Chapter 154, miscellaneous land use regulations of the codified ordinances of the City of Forest Park, Ohio, to add supplemental language to Section 154.58, violations and penalties to establish criminal penalties for failure to respond to violation notices and stop work orders, which penalties are in addition to those administrative and civil remedies available in the code, and to address vehicle hazards at driveways.
Okay, ordinance number 12-2015 was read for the first time. This ordinance will be on the agenda for a vote at the meeting on August 3rd. Next item on the agenda is item D, ordinance number 13-2015. Would the clerk please read this ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 13-2015, an ordinance approving a substantial revision to the development plan for Caroline Business Park located in the Special Planning Area 3 District.
Again, this is a first reading. This ordinance will be on the agenda for vote on the work at the council meeting on August 3rd. Next item on the agenda is item E, ordinance number 14-2015. Would the clerk please read this ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 14-2015, amending Chapter 95 Fire Prevention Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Forest Park, Ohio.
Ordinance 14-2015 was the first reading also, and this item would be on the agenda for vote on August 3rd. Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 15-2015. Would the clerk please read that ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 15-2015, an ordinance amending Chapter 156 Comprehensive Fee Schedule of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Forest Park.
Ordinance 15-2015 is the first reading, and this ordinance will be up for vote at the August 3rd meeting. Next item on the agenda is item G, resolution number 30-2015. Would the clerk please read this resolution in full?
Resolution number 30-2015, adopting tax budget for 2016 and submitting same to the Hamilton County Auditor. Whereas the city manager has heretofore prepared a tentative budget for the city of Forest Park for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2016, showing detailed estimates of all balances that will be available at the beginning of the year 2016 for the purpose of such penalties, allowances, prerequisites, and all other types of classes of revenues. Also, estimates of all expenditures or charges in or for the purpose of such fiscal year to be paid or not from the said revenues of balances and otherwise conforming with the requirements of law. And whereas said budget has been made conveniently available to the public for inspection for at least 10 days, having at least 2 copies thereof on file in the office of the Director of Finance, and whereas the Council of the City of Forest Park, Ohio has held a public hearing on said budget of which public notice was given by publication not less than 10 days previous to the date of said public hearing, now therefore be resolved by the Council of the City of Forest Park, Ohio. Section 1, that the budget of the City of Forest Park for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2016, heretofore prepared by the city manager and submitted to this council, copies of which have been and are on file in the office of the Director of Finance, be and it is hereby adopted as the official budget of the City of Forest Park, Ohio, for the fiscal year beginning January 2016. Section 2, that the clerk of council is hereby authorized and directed to certify a copy of said budget and a copy of this resolution and transmit the same to the auditor of Hamilton County, Ohio. Section 3, this resolution shall be in full force and be in effect upon its passage.
Is there a motion, Mr. Lyles?
I move for adoption of Resolution 30, 2015.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 30-2015. Is there a discussion, Mr. Lyles?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We have to submit to the county the city's tax budget that is basically our draft budget for 2016. It should be noted that there was a public hearing this evening at 7:45 for input into that budget process. At this point, we basically roll over the next budget year of our multi-year budget. We don't really get into the detailed refinement of the budget until later in the year. However, it is timely that we review and update the necessary overall goals and consider the budget in terms of realistically supporting those goals. So I'd ask for passage. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, would the clerk call the roll on Resolution 30-2015?
Johnson,
Yes.
Lives,
Yes.
Southall,
Yes.
Cottle,
Yes.
Holt.
Resolution 30-2015 passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda, item 8, is a motion, Mr. Lyles.
Thank you. I move to receive the general fund summary report as contained in the departmental reports.
It's been moved and seconded that we receive the general fund summary reports as contained in the departmental report. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, is there any other business to come before the body? Any other business to come before the body? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you all.